We're going to give our verdict after heading back to this restaurant in Pigeon Forge after hearing some pretty sketchy reviews and, well, some serious health issues. So keep watching for more and we'll tell you our verdict at the end. Welcome to Bear Facts, where we explore the Smoky Mountains one bear fact at a time. Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us today. We're going to be taking a closer look at one of Pigeon Forge's most popular buffets and are asking the real question: is it still a place worth your time or one you should think about twice before going into? Anytime you head into a place like Pigeon Forge, you're probably going to encounter what's considered a tourist trap, especially when it comes to those places that look flashy and nice on the outside, but then you go inside and you say, whoa, I think we got ripped off. Well, the thing about Pigeon Forge is very few restaurants actually fall into that category. Most of the restaurants in the area take extreme pride in not only their reputation, but getting return customers and excellent reviews. And anytime we find a place that falls into that negative category, we have to stop and reconsider and look to see whether or not this is a place we should be promoting ourselves. Now, the place we're going to talk about has fallen under some heavy fire in the past year, especially in July when they came out with their health study reviews. And this place is actually pretty popular, or at least it was up until then. The Woodfire Grill is definitely one of those buffets that has had a reputation for a very long time, with some customers who love it and others who hated it. They just think it's like, a buffet that has overpriced foods and stuff like that. But then you have your repeat customers and people who absolutely love it. And this is one of those places. I'm not promising they were awesome beforehand, but they definitely seem to have a better reputation up until about July of last year in 2025, when they fell under some serious scrutiny by the health inspectors. So let's talk about this restaurant and what exactly got thrown around about them. If you've ever driven down the Parkway in Pigeon Forge, you've probably seen the Woodfire Grill. It's sitting right off the main strip near the Hollywood Wax Museum, and it's definitely one of those places that's hard to miss. And for a long time, it's been a comeback place for many people. Now, we have personally been there a few times over the years, and honestly, it's always been a place we kind of enjoyed. The variety, the atmosphere, the idea that you can walk in hungry and leave full without really thinking too hard about what to order. But after reports started coming out about health and safety concerns, including a pretty low inspection score of 71 out of 100, and, words being thrown out like roaches and flies in the kitchen area, it was definitely time to stop and reconsider if this place is safe enough to go back to. Now, the place had other concerns as well. Some I kind of thought were a little odd that they'd bring up, but that's just my opinion. It's a buffet. What do you expect from a buffet? However, some were very serious concerns. Like I said, cockroaches, flies, food that is not hot enough. These are serious things to bring up. And people started to question themselves. Should we be going here? Has this become a tourist trap? Are they going to fix anything? And being on a social media platform where my focus is facts, I kind of felt compelled to go back and reevaluate and to see if they have done anything to help improve their reputation. Because honestly, the restaurant industry in Pigeon Forge is cutthroat. These guys are serious down here. People who are coming into the Pigeon Forge area have an expectation, a very high expectation, that a restaurant is going to be good quality, clean, family friendly, and of course, safe and healthy to eat at. Now, I need you guys to speak up too, because even though I had my experience and it was fairly recent, and I'm going to tell you about my experience, I'm not there all the time. So you guys out there, if you have been there recently, please let us know in the comments what you thought and how your experience went. The only way to keep a business honest is to be honest ourselves and to speak out. All right, so first thing I want to talk about is why this restaurant is as popular as it is. So first off, it is right off the Parkway, easy to get to, and it sits next to some of the busiest tourist spots in all of Pigeon Forge. It's right down the road from the island. There's a lot of hotels and places that people are staying at. It's a really easy, convenient location. Now, their pricing is a little bit on the high side. Unfortunately, though, that's kind of how it goes with most restaurants in the area. On average, it is about $25 a person, though they do have some senior discounts. Your drink is not included as well. But for the price that you are paying, you're actually getting a lot of food. So I guess it really depends on how much you plan on eating to determine the value in that regard. And it's the variety that is the main draw for most people. The food is built around the classic American buffet style. You got your comfort staples front and center, from the fried chicken, which is easily one of the highlights, to the roast beef and mashed potatoes and gravy. They have a carving station that usually draws a crowd too, especially for the prime rib. Now, I'll be honest, it can be a bit chewy at times, but it still carries a lot of flavor. And for a buffet setting, that's kind of what you expect. It's not steakhouse quality, but it scratches the itch. Now, beyond that, the variety spread is out in every direction. There's a Mexican option that has tacos and sides. There's the Italian dishes with pastas and sauces. And then they have a Chinese section with your standard, stir-fried style items. You really can't call either one of them true Chinese or Mexican foods. They are 100% American versions of those items. And of course, they actually have a full-size salad bar, and a whole section is dedicated to desserts and only desserts. I do like, though, that they do not allow you to get your own ice cream. My husband hates that, but I'm like, no, I don't want people reaching in and scooping their ice cream. I think that's gross. That's just me. Anyway, so the last time we were there, I would say probably was over a year ago, and we decided to go back again. And walking in this time, one of the things that we noticed right away was there was a subtle change in the atmosphere. So the old theme used to lean very heavily in the national parks with these big murals decorating the whole walls inside. And it had the kind of a rustic Smoky Mountain feel. And while that's mostly still there now, they have also added more to the interior, shifting towards a Native American-inspired art pattern themed. The booths had been redone, the walls have a little bit of a different look, and overall it feels more clean and organized and less cluttered than before, especially at the entrance, where it used to feel like you're being funneled through a merchandise aisle. So they've toned that down quite a bit. Now, none of that really matters if the food and cleanliness didn't hold up, and that's where most of the concerns had been. So first of all, the plain simple fact is that buffets are inherently flawed. Anytime you go to a place that allows children to serve themselves their own food, you have already accepted a certain level of risk that comes with sharing utensils, open food, and a constant flow of people moving through the line. By heading to any buffet, you are accepting that risk. Very few buffets have high scores. These are often high-volume establishments with a high overhead and tight margins where food is constantly being cycled, replaced, and handled throughout the day, which leaves very little room for mistakes. And when the system slips even a little, those issues don't stay small for long. They show up quickly, and then they're kind of problems that customers notice and remember. And that's where this really starts to come full circle. Because while it's easy to point fingers at what went wrong, the reality behind it is a little bit more complicated. I can't put all the blame on the staff for that low score. Staffing shortages and low pay are a serious issue in Pigeon Forge. The cost of living keeps climbing, housing is extremely expensive, and wages just haven't kept up. If you're driving an hour to get to work for a $12 or $15 an hour job, it's hard not to imagine how that affects your mindset. When people are overworked or dealing with inconsistent expectations, things start to slip. And that's probably most likely what happened. Like any business, it ultimately, though, does fall on the owners and management to be present, to set clear standards and make sure those standards are being met every single day. And that's not a new concept. It's as old as the restaurant industry itself. And ultimately, that's pretty much what determines whether a place earns back trust or continues to struggle with it. So let me tell you what we saw and what we experienced when we were here last, okay? So first of all, there was the notable improvements to the overall decor. These are small details that, just help freshen up a place. I felt that the staff seemed a little bit more attentive to the buffet lines. They were rotating food more often and keeping things cleaner as people moved through. Another thing I didn't see was that they were not doing the crab legs anymore. Last year they were doing crab legs, and I hate to say it, but I think seafood does seem to bring in the flies a little bit more. So maybe by eliminating that from the menu, that might have helped with that small issue. There was nothing that immediately raised red flags. Service was actually one of the stronger points in our visit, with staff staying on top of cleaning tables and keeping things moving. That said, there's a limit to what you can see as a customer. You're not in the kitchen and you're not seeing behind the scenes where most of these inspection issues originally come from. Now, since everything came out last July, I did check and recheck, and as of now, there haven't been any widely circulated updates or new inspection reports making headlines in the last few months, which could mean things have stabilized or just could mean that it hasn't been under the same spotlight. Now, customers can be very forgiving. If the company is going to go through the work and the effort to make these improvements, a lot of people are going to forgive it and they're going to start coming back. Definitely. If you're coming down to Pigeon Forge, I don't care what restaurant it is, I would definitely go online and take a look at the most recent reviews. We've been to restaurants or hotels that had horrific reviews 5 years ago. And then if you look at the last year or something, they went under new management, they did improvements, they took the time to consider their customers' opinions and reviews and put the work in. Now, if that still doesn't put you at ease and you're still questioning whether or not you should go back to this particular buffet, then consider maybe in your next trip down to the area, a place like Mama's Farmhouse, Paula Dean's, or even in the past, I've seen that Huck Finn's has offered it. These are all-you-can-eat table service restaurants. So they're going to bring all-you-can-eat foods to you. And you don't have to get up, walk across the buffet, and see what everyone else is doing to the food you want to be eating. The biggest issue of a lot of those places is that their menu is more limited, and that's kind of why places like the Woodfire Grill is so popular, because they do offer you a massive variety of foods. So here it is. Our thought, I probably will go back again. My husband is one of those very picky eaters, and neither one of us can usually agree on where to eat. And honestly, American-style buffets around the rest of the country have become almost obsolete. Chinese restaurants have become so predominant in the rest of the country that it's very hard finding places like this, and I think that's another reason they're so popular. However, I will be looking for reviews online and keeping an eye on what people are saying about it, because if we start hearing these reports again and people are complaining and saying stuff, I don't think it'll make me feel good to go there anymore and eat. But until then, I guess I'm willing to take the risk. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts were, if you've been there recently, and if you feel like they're worth the risk yourself. I hope this video helps you plan your visit to the Smoky Mountains. You're getting an honest review from our personal experience, but facts and things change. Restaurants close and get really bad reviews or good reviews. So please keep us in the loop if you learned anything new and want to share your experiences in the comments. Thanks again for visiting us at Fairfax of the Smoky Mountains. Please click that like button and subscribe to our channel.